Welcome to this edition of Arts and Times, presented by the Delmarva Almanac. Each quarter, we highlight local artists, our heritage, and our wildlife. Julien Benichou is the musical director for the Mid-Atlantic Symphony Orchestra. Born and raised in France, he came here to continue his musical studies.
At some point, I found out about a great teacher in the U.S., and I thought I want to go study with that teacher. His name is Gustav Meyer, and he teaches at Peabody. So I came to the U.S. and studied with him, and in the process I met my wife, and we now live here. And because I started to work here, then I guess I never went back. In 2003, I became music director of the Chesapeake Youth Symphony in Annapolis, and which sort of by chance led to my becoming music director of the Mid-Atlantic Symphony in 2005.
The Mid-Atlantic Symphony Orchestra was started in 1997 as a community orchestra with volunteer musicians. Now it is a fully professional orchestra with freelance performers who live in the region.
What makes it special for me is the landscape, is the air, is the beauty of the site. It's also the communities. I mean, I've gotten attached to the people. All the people that I've met on the Eastern Shore, and I've really become, very much attached to the area and to the people here. I think for me it's also sort of an ideal position because I'm someone who likes the country, and being able to perform in nature, around nature, in small towns is something very inspiring and very exciting. I also like our venues very much, which are all small and intimate, and in which we feel this great connection with the audience, which is like all around us and right next to us, and so that makes all this very special. Also, it's, when you think about it, this is really a great combination by the fact that the Eastern Shore has this beautiful countryside, but at the same time it is close to major metropolitan areas, which means we can get major metropolitan area quality within a beautiful countryside setting.
Julien describes the process of planning a performance season as teamwork. The executive team, the musicians, and audience feedback are all taken into consideration.
The pieces that are included have to have enough energy to carry the day. And enough energy means great composers. So Christmas carols, usually, even though they're familiar and that's what people want, they don't have the same power as Tchaikovsky or Beethoven. And if one was to go completely pops on a holiday concert, one loses the energy. But if one goes to classical, one loses the audience. So it's that balance between putting enough music by great composers and enough entertainment music that will be more heartwarming and more appropriate for the season.
Julien says their 17th season, promises to be memorable with more programs in more venues and a wider repertoire.
In the holiday concert, we will have Kevin Short and some friends of his, and he's really an amazing baritone. In March, we're going to be doing Tchaikovsky's Serenade, like big audience favorite. And in April, we have a star of the trumpet coming from Norway, Tynping Helseth. And then in May, we're doing a piece with organ, which is our first time, and the amazing Brahms Second Symphony. So I know that what I'm excited about is that all this excitement ends with Brahms. That I'm excited about, and Brahms is certainly a composer that I always so much look forward to conducting, and that I find one of the really greatest composers. So I know I'm excited about Brahms second. Now I cannot tell you that I'm more excited, because I'm also very excited about Mozart 40 that I have never done either. That is a piece that I absolutely love. Yeah, this is basically a very exciting season coming up.
There's nothing like hearing live music, particularly with an orchestra. Julien encourages people of all ages to experience it.
I like to say that the musicians play for the audience, not only in the sense of play at the audience, but play in place of the audience, which means it's certainly teamwork, and the audience participates in the performance by their reaction, by the energy and enthusiasm they bring to the performance. In the same way, sports fans participate to the victory of their team by cheering them on. The musicians react to the audience as much as sports players. You know, it's called home field advantage, right, in sports. So it's sort of the same thing for an orchestra or any performer playing for their audience. So in that sense, live classical music is very different, because you as an audience member have a chance to participate in the performance, and the performance not only is played for you, but reflects you, and that's the big difference.
There are times when the audience and the musicians are really connecting, when the emotions of a piece take over everyone in the room.
The moments when during the performance, when it's really great, are these moments when you're even forgetting that you're performing, and once in a while in the middle you remember that you are in the middle of a concert and you had almost forgotten, when your mind comes at you, oh, I'm doing a concert here, and then you get back into it and you had forgotten that it's a performance. Yeah.
Julien quotes Beethoven saying that young musicians need to learn how to have the spirit of the gypsy and the discipline of the soldier. He says they need to be both psychologically and physically resilient. He also suggests that they not only watch great performers, but watch their audiences.
I think that the most encouraging thing, is to see an audience before and after the concert, and to see the transformation that people go through by coming together to a performance, experiencing the performance together, and seeing how peaceful they are and relaxed and happy they are after the performance, and what a great impact it has on all of their individual lives, but then it has a repercussion on all of society as these people go back into their homes and their work, and they are nourished and feel better because of the performance. So really it's the arts that bring people together, and so the arts have this really vital function in society in really bringing the energy into society, and I think that's the performing arts job in particular, but any sort of art in general.
Julien describes how together the orchestra and the audience can be one communal instrument.
If music is partly, at least, about human relationships, but of course it's not just human relationships, it's all sorts of relationships. Through the sound, then that means that we build it together. We build it together, the conductor and the orchestra, the musicians with each other, the musicians with the audience, the conductor with the audience, the composer with everybody. And that together we build that bridge or that arch or whatever we want to call it. We build that line that carries the audience and that carries us. And we put the energy into building that cathedral.
Julien is also a composer. He had a piece in last year's program and will have one in this year's called 3 Seasons of Chicago, a small concertino for violin and string orchestra. Find out more about the Mid-Atlantic Symphony, where and when you can see them, at midatlanticsymphony.org. Thank you for watching this edition of Arts and Times, presented by the Delmarva Almanac, a Moonshell production. This online publication is made possible by Worcester County Tourism. Visit the beach and beyond. Pick up the print edition of Arts and Times Tri-County Events Calendar at area galleries and cultural attractions. Eat, Drink, Buy Art on Delmarva. Visit eatdrinkbuyart.com and find out about the vibrant art scene on Delmarva and the towns where you can find our amazing artists, galleries they are shown in, and great places to have a meal and a beverage. Support local artists. Eat, Drink, Buy Art on Delmarva. Visit artsandtimes.org for other videos and a complete calendar of arts events on Delmarva.